Welcome back to the stream. It's Tuesday, June 15. Hope everybody had a good day. Hope you learned a lot. Kids learned a lot. Everybody was behaved. We're pretty on point today. We had a lot of fun. Did some cool stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit about unschooling. Let me just talk about unschooling. There's a Reddit group for homeschooling. Somebody asked a question or mentioned something about unschooling, asked me something about what style, what type of homeschooling we do. So there's a subreddit for homeschoolers that aren't homeschooled anymore. There's homeschool horror stories, basically. I don't know what the name of the sub is right now, but a lot of those are homeschoolers that were unschooled. And unschooling, I don't want to get into labeling people for what they do, but a lot of unschoolers will, at least from the horror stories, a lot of the kids or now adults that are on that sub complaining were unschooled by parents who didn't actively push them to actually learn anything. So they never did anything. They played video games the whole time, called it school. And they complained they didn't learn anything. They're way behind in English and math, and they're trying to get into colleges now, and they're having problems because they don't have this. They're so far behind. Their test scores are horrible, and I don't think that's solely unschooling's fault. I think a lot of it's just you still have to cover your bases. So what we do. So then I started thinking, well, what do I do? What do we do here? We do a bit of both. Not both. But we do unschooling in a sense, and we do school at home in a way. So, for instance, we do have books. We got lots of workbooks, textbooks. There's certain things that we need to cover, and we need to cover on time so that we can cover even more complicated things. Math is a good example of that. You need to know how to add and subtract. You need to know that so that you can learn how to multiply and divide, and you need to know that so you can learn algebra, and you need to learn algebra so you can learn even more complex math, calculus and trigonometry and so on. And there's a progression that needs to happen. You can't jump into algebra without knowing how to add and subtract. You can't jump into multiplication and division without knowing how to add and subtract. So those things need to happen on time. You can't skip math, even if your kids aren't interested. You can't skip adding and subtracting and think that when they're in 8th and 9th grade and they really are interested in multiplication, that somehow they're going to get caught up. It's just not going to happen. And that's where these horror stories come in, is that there's no base level of bare minimum of what you need to learn. And so we try to cover the bare minimums, right? We try to make sure that they're reading on time, that they're adding and subtracting, they're doing the right stuff at the right time for them to cover their bases for both of them. Like we're learning sight words now. For Luana and Matthias, he's doing multiplication, division, and he's starting into geometry. And it's the right time for him. It's the right time for Luana as well. And so for that, and we use books for a lot of that. And that's like school at home. right? It's its own way to educate your kids for homeschool. But then there's other things that we'll do that are more unschooling, like watching documentaries. Matthias, 2 days of the week, can watch a documentary for science class. He can watch whatever documentary he wants. He's been watching Bridges of the World documentary lately. Different architecture and different bridges, how they build the bridge. And there's a lot that you can learn about many different subjects. I'll just let him pick whichever one he wants. This is on Curiosity Stream. So, Luana, it's harder for Luana to have independent learning. She's still like playing a lot. She's in kindergarten, so I don't push her too hard on anything. We do the basics, and I'm pretty flexible on everything else. But Matthias, he also has a technology class, right? And technology, I just want him to learn some new technology. You don't have to be a master at whatever it is in one class, but just incrementally build your skills. He's been into video editing and 3D graphics. And so for technology class, he will go and learn different techniques of how to edit videos, how to add text transitions, and how to do fade ins and fade outs, and how to do like he did yesterday. He did a 2D animation, but that's also art in a sense, right? So if he's doing something creative with it, I'll call that art. You want to do some 3D modeling, some 2D animation, I don't care. That's art. Show me another fourth grader that's doing 2D animation independently on his own. But he's doing it because he's interested in it. And that's what I want him to, that's what I want to teach him, is how to teach himself how to learn, right? Not just here's what to learn because the government says this is what we need to learn, right? There's no check boxes I'm checking off. There's some. I shouldn't say none. So it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid approach of like cover your bases, but also let them explore their own interests and see where that leads them over time. And for the most part, it's working out, I think, for us. It's not perfect. No system's going to be perfect, and every kid is different. What works for Matthias maybe isn't going to work for Luana. So we'll see how it progresses over time. But that's where we are on unschooling. Are we unschoolers? In some sense. Yeah, in some sense. 100% no. No, and I think people that get caught up into naming and sticking to a paradigm are missing the point. The point is teaching your kid, make sure that they're learning and they're achieving their full potential, right? That's what we're trying to do, right? Not stick to any particular labeling of what we're doing. So anyways, that's enough ranting about that. Let's get into grading. We got to do it every day. It's not the most exciting thing, but we got to do it. Luana started off the day. She's got an educational video. She started off watching Magic School Bus. Magic School Bus, we have it in our Netflix library here. And it's great. It's tons of sciencey type stuff she can learn in that. Khan Academy, I don't know if she did any. She's not been really engaged in Khan Academy lately. And I've been thinking I need to get her a new app. She seems maybe bored of Khan Academy. So I think I might do that later today. Oh, wow. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. It looks like she did 8 of them today. Okay. 8 lessons. Oops. Actually, I want to put that down here in the grade part. Good. Wow, I'm surprised. Some days she's into it and some days she's not. PE? So it's rainy season where we're at. It's been raining every day. Rain today. It's not raining right now, but it probably will soon. So we basically have mornings, and if we're not out in the morning doing stuff, then it's going to rain on us. So I bought some jump ropes. And the kids love it. We've been, Luana will be at one end and Matthias at the other end, and I'll jump. And it'll be like 3 people jumping, right? Like a big rope. And then it'll be Luana and me, and then Matthias will be jumping, and then it'll be Luana's turn, and we just rotate turns, and we have a blast. We just jump roping, sweat a bit, jump a bit, laugh, play. We all did jump rope today. I need to add myself onto this list. I did some. I think Matthias was the winner at jump rope today. I did pretty good. My sight words, this workbook here, my sight words workbook. Luana's been pretty independent with this lately. She's been going and doing the whole lesson, tracing the letters, doing everything, cutting them out, gluing them on. Impressive that she's so independent on that. Very impressive. But she can do it without even knowing the word that she's working with. So I got to make sure to reinforce the actual word. She sees the word. She does the activity. But unless I tell her this is the word, she's not actually learning the word. So what is the point other than practicing writing? They is the word today. They. Which brings me to the sight words flashcards, which I did not do. Somebody took them off my desk again. I don't know where they are. I need to go find them and practice those with her, because that's like reinforcement, learning the words, practicing over and over again the same words till she actually knows the words and can recognize it on sight. Like, I know that word. I know that word. I know that word, right? Not just guessing. She'll just throw out a random word. I'll say, what is this word? And she'll say, do. It's not do. It doesn't look like do. She'll just say do for everything she doesn't know. So that's where the flashcards come in, which I need to get back on. Science. We did something cool with science today. We caught a bug. I went outside and caught a daddy long legs and put it in a big jug, like a clear plastic jug, and we all looked at it. Looked at the insect, and I had them. They each drew a picture of it. I might have that somewhere. Oh, I don't have those with me. That's too bad. But that's too bad because they were pretty good drawings. Anyways, Matthias did a really good drawing. Luana did a good drawing. I told him to count the legs, and we just observed this by it's not a spider. It's a daddy long legs. A daddy long legs is not a spider. A spider has an abdomen and a head, and a daddy long legs is just one body. There's just one circle. There's no abdomen and head. Something we learned recently. So it was a daddy long legs, big legs. We looked at the legs. He was missing a leg. He only had 7 legs. Kind of interesting. Like legit, he's supposed to have 8, not 7. But we looked at him a little bit and drew pictures, asked questions. I think I could be prepared a little better for what questions we should ask. I said, what do you think he eats and stuff like that. And then we decided to see if he would eat an ant if we put an ant in with him. like a bug fight or something, right? So we found an ant, and we put an ant in there, and they barely interacted with each other. They were both more concerned about being trapped in a plastic jug than they were about each other. So they're very aware of their situation, being trapped inside of a plastic jug. So they were assessing the threat properly. The bigger threat was being trapped in the jug. So we watched them for a little bit. Nothing happened. We decided to let them go, and we let them both go, and they both scampered off alive. So science was cool. We just played with bugs. Played with bugs. Pretty cool science day for both of them. And that was a cool one too, because we could do it all together, right? We could all watch the bugs together and see how they behaved. Because when do you get to see like an insect like that close up for a long time, right? You just see a bug and he's running away, or he's in your house and you kill it and you flush it down the toilet. You're not sitting there examining the thing. We found this one outside, captured him, looked at him for a while, and we're able to see how he moved. And I don't know, it's kind of neat. Matthias has been doing Duolingo for French. It's okay. It's free. It's not the best. He keeps learning French, though, so I think that's because he knows Spanish. It's close to Spanish, but that's fine. I think I need to perhaps find something new other than Duolingo, but we'll get there. History. He's been using this history book. I keep showing it. First History Encyclopedia. A great book. Today he learned about... What he learned about? What did he learn about, I should say. What he learned about. Early Islamic civilizations. All right. Early Islamic civilizations. Baghdad, Spain. Early Islamic medicine. Interesting. The astrolabe, a navigational device. Cool. Now he's caught up. He was skipping around in this history book, jumping around. Next, he will learn about Imperial China. Cool. Great book. Great book. Just love that book. Wish I had a book like that when I was growing up. I'd like to get one similar, but perhaps this is world history. This is just history of, we get into indigenous peoples of North America, the Inca Empire, European colonies. Okay, pilgrims. Slave trade. There we go. Wow. The Renaissance. All right. Wait a sec. The Renaissance? Yeah, I guess that was the same time, huh? Interesting. There's so many things that even I should learn. I should read that book myself. First History Encyclopedia. I love it. Math. He's done the hard stuff in math. He's got up to multiplication and division, and he's passed it. And now we're into angles and shapes like nonagons. Nonagons has 9 sides. A nonagon. Pretty cool. He's learning about angles, acute, obtuse, and right angles. What's coming up? What's coming up? I thought there'd be more. We're almost to a whole different section of this book called Math, Games, and Puzzles, which I guess applies the stuff that we've learned in the first part of the book into different games and puzzles, I suppose. Cool. So far, I like this book. It's covered a lot. All right, so he did angles and shapes is not the right word. What do they call it? Shapes is too basic. Plane shapes. Polygons, that's what I need to use. And polygons. All right. Sounds more complicated to say a polygon, right? Yes. Okay, reading Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm going to try to get him into a different book series than the Five Nights at Freddy's next. I don't know if it's appropriate. Where's art on here? Oh, we did PE today. Oh, okay. Well, he did some art anyways. Language arts. He has been reading Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. Great book. And so it's a lot of poetry. I tried to get him to write his own poem. He didn't seem enthusiastic about that. I guess maybe it's a little tricky. So I said, Joe, just write me a story. So here's his story. We drew a little illustration. Okay, there's the illustration. The bear that went to space. Okay. One day a bear wanted to know what's past the sky. The bear started to build a space shuttle. After 1 week of building, he finished. The bear got in his ship and took off. The end. I wonder if he counted the sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. I don't know how to grade that. There's some spelling errors. You're not getting an A with spelling errors. There's incorrect use of apostrophes. The story did have a beginning, middle, and end, though, right? He wanted to know what was past the sky. He built a spaceship. He finished his spaceship. And then he got on the spaceship and he left. There's a coherent this, then this, then this, then this, which I think is important. That's a important development of the story. It sounds like a simple story, but there's that sequence of this, then this, then this, then this, and it flowed. And so I'm going to give him a B for that. Wrote a short story, a very short story. The bear that went to space. The bear that went to space. I guess I should do it like that. The bear that went to space. All right. Spelling errors. A few spelling errors and incorrect apostrophe usage. See, I get to use... Oh, I'm not streaming that. All right. See, I get to use the spell checker. See, I'm marking him off for spelling error, and then I use the spell checker to correct my own spelling. Oh, the irony! But I can do these things. I can spell most words correctly, anyways. I can spell past. What's past the sky? Anyhow, I wonder if I should take a picture of that and scan it. I think I will. I think I'm going to take a picture of it because he worked a lot on the presentation, more so than the story. But it's pretty cool that I can upload these pictures to the work. So I can go and from the mobile device, there I am. I'm going to select camera. Doesn't work too well. Showing it on the camera doesn't work from it like that. And then I took the picture of it, hit OK, and then there it is. I hit save. Bam, that's going to upload it to the server. Okay. And now, if I go back to the website on the computer and I reload the page, we can see it. Language arts, and it will show up right there. Pretty cool. I can save all the work that I want to save. Not every work is worth saving. This one's cool, though. This, I think, will be a good story to look back in a couple years to see the progress over time. Maybe when I get portfolios built in, I can put it in the portfolio and show off different work. You can see the developmental progress over time. It'll be cool. And that's where we're at. He did his journal, I believe. I think. I'll ask him before I add a grade. That's where we're at. We're running on 25 minutes here. If you like the stream, like, subscribe, comment in the comments below what your thoughts are about the stream, about unschooling, homeschooling, whatever. Say hello. And we'll see you tomorrow.